So indeed, I will talk in this presentation about OCaml Pro, and what we do, and what we have been doing for 1 year. So first, what is OCaml Pro? It's a spin-off of INRIA that was created last year in April. So it's located on the campus de Saclay, near Paris. It has been a member of CAML Consortium since its creation globally. And our work has been mostly funded by a few sponsors or customers, Genstreet, Exifi, STRLTech, and Citrix, mostly. And of course, we are looking for more. So, okay, so our mission.
Bouge la souris, clique sur pause, pause. Voilà, maintenant utilise les flèches.
Okay, our mission, well, the mission of OCaml Pro is, was when it was created to promote the use of OCaml as the functional programming of choice in the industry, as a good solution to increase development productivity and software quality. So for that, we want to provide all the services and tools that can help companies to use OCaml, and with a particular emphasis on improving the accessibility of OCaml and guaranteeing, ensuring its stability. The current team, at the top, there is the OCaml Pro team, which started with Thomas Gazanière. Then we had we hired Sagdas Bosman as a PhD student. Last month, Pierre Chambard started also, so he had a talk this morning. And you also have Vincent Bernardoff and Guillaume Brieux, who are working on a short mission. And all this team work closely with my team at INRIA. So in my team at INRIA, we have an engineer, Frédéric Cuong, who has been working on the DORP project, which is kind of related to OPAM. We have Michael Laporte, which is an intern. Lucas Sayou, who started a postdoc related to multicore. So we'll see what can happen. And of course myself. The kind of services that we want to provide to companies. Of course, we are able to train developers. So for that, we provide courses for beginners, but also for experts, like on the type system, on how to write efficient code, or how to explain how the garbage collector works. We can also do consulting for companies. For example, if a company has problems with the speed of the performance of its code, we can help them to profile and optimize their code. In general way, we can provide solutions to any problem related to OCaml. We also do development in OCaml. We see sometimes for studs, but preference in OCaml. And we can, for example, develop generic open source libraries or tools that can then be used by all the community. Or we can also work on specific components for a particular customer. We develop products and tools, mostly development tools. So for example, we released Typerex at the beginning of the year. We are working also on build management tools, like OPAM or SPBuild. And we are also working on the memory profiling tools. So Sagdas is going to give a talk this afternoon on that. We are trying to develop a version of OCaml dedicated to Windows that will be easy to install and to use, and with a better integration with the Windows environment in general. So we hope it can also help spread OCaml, increase the community of OCaml users. And finally, we offer a possibility to do long-term support on OCaml versions. For example, to do hotfixes and releasing new version faster than the current official release, or with an OCaml version with customer-specific extensions. So that's the kind of things that we can do for our customers. But now I switch to what we have done during the past year. So we have tried to serve the community. So for example, at the last year we released OCaml cheat sheets. So you can still download them on our website, and they are supposed to help people remember the most common options or functions of the standard library, and well, option of tools, and the most useful functions of the standard library. We have published also Try OCaml and Try JS of OCaml, which is some kind of online tutorial to learn OCaml in the browser. And the nice thing with it is that it works even when the browser is disconnected from the server, since JS of OCaml includes, allows us to compile the OCaml top level directly in the browser. So you can try it on try.ocamlpro.com. It has been upgraded to version 4 this week, so you can even test the latest features. We have released, well, we are releasing now the OPAM package manager, so it's on opam.ocamlpro.com. So Thomas is going to do the talk after me, after Yaron, this morning about it. And we have also contributed to the OCaml web project. So you can look at it on ocamllang.org. And of course, everybody is welcome to contribute to it. The project is on GitHub, so all contributions are welcome. So we have added a few contributions to OCaml 4. So Xavier has described some of them. So I will not talk about Binanot again. Maybe just to say that there are already auxiliary tools that are able to use it. So, for example, the latest version of OCaml Spotter can use the CLT files. We have, I think that Lexifi also and us, we have both developed dead code detection tools for the whole project. So that's the kind of things that can be done with this new option. We have added new options in OCaml dep, the minus all and the minus sort. So for example, now you can compile a project in where you have just files in the local directory just by one line by using the minus sort option. We have added CFI assembly directives in the Intel backend. So this allows now the debugger to print correctly all the backtraces, including OCaml functions. So if you use, for example, the BT command in GDB. So it's nice if when you have to debug things where you have both C code and OCaml code. And finally, we have added some optimizations, like an optimization to speed up the execution of partial function applications. And also, we have optimized the pipe operators. So now we can use these new primitives with the guarantee that no partial closures will be created if you use them, which was a problem before. At the beginning of the year, we have released Typerex. So it's a work where we are trying to program a development studio for OCaml. So the first version was based on the Tuareg mode, so it worked only on Emacs, and it was working with the 3.12.1 version. It was able to provide and some kind of improvements of coloring features of Tuareg, refactoring operations, whole project refactoring operations, go-to definition functionality that will help you to navigate in your code to see where a function is defined and then all the uses of the function, and the powerful auto-completion function too. The main problem with it was that it's monolithic, so it's hard to improve. And it needs its own compiler. So you need, if you want to use it, you need to compile every file twice, one with the compiler of TypeRex and once with the OCaml compiler. So now we are trying to work on a new version of it that would be, in some sense, more lightweight, with, for example, independent tools instead of one big tool, and that we use the binanode functionality of OCaml 4.0 to avoid slowing down the compilation speed. So also, probably there are some features that will not be, for example, refactoring is harder to do because the CMT files of the OCaml 4 are not exactly the ones that were used by TypeRex before. So probably we won't be able to do exactly everything that was done by the first version, but we will. We are trying more to focus on accessibility for this version. We have also a project manager that we want to use, provide to simplify the way OCaml programs are described and compiled. Especially because TypeRex, when you want to do operations on projects like refactoring, you need to know all the files that belong to a project and how they are related. So we have created a simple DSL to describe each package that is in a project. They can be with the dependencies between the packages, and all these files can be in multiple directories. And then we have a tool, CBbuild, that is able to parallelize the compilation of all the packages a little better than OCaml build. So there is an example of the kind of things that you have to write to describe your projects, your packages. So what we are trying to add to OCaml now, we have a patch called Big Functors. The goal of this patch is to split a functor in different modules, so that when you pack them, you get a functor. So it's easier. Well, it was already possible to split a functor in different modules, but then you have to combine them, and it's a bit painful. With this patch, it's very simple. You just use the pack option in some sense to merge them together to get a functor. So if you think it's very important to get that in OCaml, you can try to convince the dev team to have it, to accept it. We have a patch for big blocks, so you know that there is a limitation on 32 bits for blocks. You cannot do something, create a block that is bigger, a string for example, that is bigger than 16 megabytes. So I know that 32 bits computers are not so common these days, except phones maybe, smartphones. But still, 16 megabytes is a little small. So we have a patch to go over this limit. And so if you think it's useful, it's the same. Push for it. We have a proposal for namespaces. So Xavier talked a little about it. We have a patch for to add frame pointers to make OCaml use frame pointers. This is particularly useful because there are new tools for Linux to profile programs, and they need frame pointers for that. So that's something that we are trying to push in the next version of OCaml. And we are also working on adding built-ins for binary operations, like the pswap operation of the Intel processor that can speed up the unmarshalling of data, for example, that have been written by a C program. So, of course, we can work on, if you want things, just tell us and maybe become one of our customer or sponsor, and then we can develop it and try to either push it in the OCaml standard distribution or in our own version for our customers. So if you want to contact us, there is a website. I think it's easy to find. And of course, a small announcement, we are hiring, so if you are looking for a postdoc and an engineer position, both INRIA and OCaml Pro are trying to find a good OCaml expert, so just contact us. If you have, especially if you have a good experience in compilation or typing or static analysis on these kind of subjects. And of course, if you are able to work on not only on Unix but also on Windows system, it's a plus.
Thank you.